the horror camping. It was a cool autumn evening when a group of 5 college friends, Samantha, Jason, Mia, Eric, and Olivia, decided to go camping in a forest known as the Whispering Woods. The woods had a sinister reputation among the locals, who often warned visitors to stay away after dark. But the group, eager for adventure and skeptical of ghost stories, dismissed the warnings as nothing more than village superstition. The group arrived at the edge of the woods just before sunset. The trees loomed tall and dense, their twisted branches casting eerie shadows over the forest floor. They set up their tents near a small clearing by a stagnant pond, where the air was damp and an unsettling silence hung. As darkness fell, they built a campfire and gathered around it, laughing and sharing stories. Jason, the prankster of the group, decided to tell the tale of the Whispering Woods. According to legend, the forest was cursed. Long ago, a witch had been burned at the stake here, but her dying words promised vengeance. Those who camped in the forest claimed to hear whispers at night, voices calling their names, and those who followed the whispers were never seen again. Everyone laughed nervously at Jason's story, but deep down, an unspoken fear settled over the group. As the night deepened, Samantha noticed something odd. The campfire seemed to dim on its own, even though it was well fed with wood. "It's just the wind," Eric reassured her, but there was no breeze at all. Jason, in his usual mischievous spirit, pretended to hear whispers. "Listen," he said, cupping his ear. "Can you hear them? They're calling for me." He laughed, but his joke didn't land. Everyone was already on edge. A sudden snap of a branch startled them all. Olivia shone her flashlight into the trees, but there was nothing there. "Probably just an animal," Mia said, trying to sound confident, though her voice trembled. Later that night, as they were getting ready to sleep, Olivia thought she heard someone softly calling her name. "Olivia." It was faint, almost like a breath against her ear. "Did you hear that?" she asked, looking around. "Hear what?" Eric replied, already half asleep in his sleeping bag. She hesitated, shaking her head. "Nothing. It's probably just my imagination." But deep down, she wasn't so sure. Around midnight, Mia stood up, claiming she needed to use the restroom. Armed with a flashlight, she ventured a little way into the woods. The group watched her light bob through the trees until it disappeared entirely. 10 minutes passed, then 20. "She's taking too long," Olivia said, her voice quivering. Jason offered to look for her. Grabbing his flashlight, he followed the path Mia had taken. The rest of the group sat in uneasy silence, their eyes fixed on the forest. The night seemed darker now, and the usual sounds of nocturnal creatures were absent. Jason walked deeper into the woods, calling Mia's name. "Mia, stop messing around." His flashlight flickered, then went out completely, leaving him in darkness. Frustrated, he smacked the flashlight against his palm, but then he heard it. A faint, lilting voice. "Jason." "Who's there?" he asked, spinning around. The voice came again, closer this time. "Jason, over here." He saw a figure standing in the shadows. "Mia?" he asked, stepping closer. But as he approached, he realized it wasn't Mia. The figure had no face, just smooth, pale skin where eyes and a mouth should have been. Jason screamed, stumbling back, but the faceless figure rushed at him. His screams echoed through the woods, sending chills down the spines of his friends back at the camp. "What was that?" Samantha asked, clutching Eric's arm. "It's Jason," Olivia cried. "We have to help him." Eric grabbed a flashlight, and the three of them ventured into the forest together, their fear mounting with every step. As they walked, the forest seemed to close in around them. The trees grew denser, their gnarled branches forming a canopy that blocked out the moonlight. Eric shone his flashlight ahead, and they saw something lying on the ground. It was Jason's flashlight, broken in half. "Where is he?" Olivia whispered, her voice shaking. Suddenly they heard faint laughter. It was Jason's voice, but it sounded distorted, almost inhuman. The laughter faded, and in its place came footsteps. Olivia shone her flashlight ahead and froze. Mia was standing there, but something was off. Her eyes were wide and unblinking, and her skin was as pale as a corpse. "Mia," Samantha called cautiously. Mia tilted her head, her lips parting in a strange, unsettling smile. "Why did you come looking for me?" she asked, in a voice that didn't sound like hers. Eric grabbed Samantha's arm. "That's not Mia. We need to leave, now." The group turned and ran, but the whispers followed them, growing louder and more insistent. Eric, Olivia, Samantha. The voices seemed to come from all around them, echoing through the trees. Samantha tripped over a root, and as Eric helped her up, they saw Jason standing a few feet away. "Jason!" Olivia cried, but Eric held her back. Jason's head hung at an unnatural angle, his neck twisted, and his smile was eerily wide. "Why are you leaving so soon?" he asked in a voice that wasn't his. Jason lunged at them, but Eric shone his flashlight directly into his eyes. Jason let out an inhuman screech and vanished into the shadows. The group ran as fast as they could, the whispers now deafening. The forest seemed to shift around them, the paths twisting and changing. "I can't breathe," Samantha panted, collapsing to her knees. "We have to keep going," Eric urged, pulling her up. As they neared the edge of the forest, Samantha suddenly stopped. "I can't go on," she said, tears streaming down her face. "You have to," Olivia cried, grabbing her hand. But Samantha shook her head. "It's too late for me. They won't let us all leave." Before they could argue, shadowy hands emerged from the ground, wrapping around Samantha's legs and pulling her down. Her screams echoed as she was swallowed by the earth. Eric and Olivia ran, their lungs burning, their minds racing. At last, they saw the edge of the forest and burst through the trees, collapsing on the grassy field beyond. When they turned back, the forest was silent and still, as if nothing had happened. When the sun rose, they returned to the campsite with the local authorities, but there was no trace of their friends. The tents were gone, the campfire extinguished, and the pond was eerily still. Eric and Olivia left the town, haunted by the memories, but every night, in their dreams, they still hear the whispers, "You can't escape us." Locals say that on quiet nights, if you stand at the edge of the whispering woods, you can hear the voices of those who were lost, forever trapped in the cursed forest. The end.